Hi guys, this is Kerry Painter. For those of you who do not know me, I am a blind single mum and I live in the UK with my daughter. Today's video, as you've probably seen by the title, is one that I hope will scare the pants off you. Today I'm going to talk to you about fear and how crippling fear can be. Some of you who are watching this video, I'm guessing, are either in financial dire straits, possibly worrying about where the next, how you're going to pay your bills, how you're going to afford summer holidays, maybe how you're going to afford your children's birthday presents or birthday parties. I know my daughter's is coming up soon, so that's why birthday parties is kind of big on my agenda. And that's a very real fear, I think. Kids today, they expect a lot. They want you to keep up with the Joneses, etc. And I think we as parents probably want that as well. And it's a real fear. It is. It's horrid. Excuse me, that's my iPhone. Somebody's on Facebook or something. So, what is fear? Well, I was always taught that fear stands for false evidence appearing real. So, for example, you're worrying about how you're going to afford this holiday or whether or not you'll even get a holiday when the summer comes. And, the fact that you might not get one is probably a real fear for a lot of people. But what will happen if you don't get that holiday? Will the world end? No, it won't. Will your children think less of you? Well, they'll probably have a bit of a paddy, but other than that, they'll get over it in the grand scheme of things. So, these are fears, but these are fears that are not necessarily, while they are frightening, they are little in the scheme of things. And I don't mean that to sound offensive to anyone because, the thing is, these fears are real, but what you need to realise is that, while these fears are real and while they're short term, what you actually need to look at is what will happen to you if you don't take a step and do something to try and conquer them. So, for example, if you are watching this video and you are thinking about Elite Marketing Pro, but you're thinking, oh my goodness, I really can't afford it. I just can't afford it. And that might be a very real possibility for some of you. And I'm not for 1 second suggesting that you ought to spend all your money on looking for something if you can't afford to pay the bills. Although I do know people that have done that, and actually there's nothing better than that sort of when you're up against it there and you're in a corner, you have to make it work, and you'll be surprised how many people have done that. But it's a very real fear, and I wouldn't for 1 second want you to go out there and join Elite Marketing Pro if it's going to mean your children go hungry. If you haven't got any kids and it's you that goes hungry, then that's slightly different. But not your kids. I wouldn't recommend that at all. But anyway, my point is that fear of failure is something that can really cripple us and really stop us from actually trying to do things. Me, for example, yes, I'm blind, can't see a bean, but I'm here, I'm shooting videos on YouTube, and yeah, they might not be great, but you know what, I don't care. I really don't care, because frankly, I don't want to be a movie editor. I simply want to get my message out there. I want to help people, and I want to show people that if I can do this, so can you. So if you're worrying now about taking a leap and trying Elite Marketing Pro, then I strongly recommend it, because an even bigger fear, and it was a kind of a fear for me as well, what if I fail? Well, frankly, Benjamin Franklin could have thought that, couldn't he? Or not Benjamin Franklin. Oof. Thomas Edison, light bulb, etc. He could have thought, what if I fail? And he could have just not carried on, and we might not have had any light bulbs or light or anything. But he didn't. He carried on, and he saw each failure as a learning experience. Me, I was worried. I was scared. I'm a single mum with one daughter, and yeah, I was scared. It's a lot to invest in. Initially, it's $10, so that's no big deal. That's not even £7 in the UK. So, in that case, you've got 10 days to try it out. So do it. But an even bigger fear for me is that when my daughter gets older, she'll turn around and say, "Well, I never got to do this. I never got to go on holidays. I never got to, I didn't get to wear the designer clothes all the other kids wear, etc., etc. And I didn't get the opportunities because my mum couldn't afford it." And you know what? That scares me more than anything, because your child will remember that the same as there are things about my parents that I remember vividly, and I vowed that I would change those things, and my daughter would never be worrying about whether I was going to be at a show. I would always be there, and it's that real fear that should be worrying you. It's the fear that if you don't do something soon, you'll be like this next year and the year after and the year after. And if you carry on doing what you've always done, you will simply get what you've always got. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you want to find out more about what I do, then click on the link in the description below and come and say hi. And if you're scared, then don't be, because I'm doing it. There's no reason you can't.